Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sparkle Lux. I am Shay, and today we're going to be jumping back into part two of healthy boundaries from a biblical perspective. Once again, we're talking about how in this world lines get blurred all the time, but it's up to us to make sure that we have healthy boundaries in place, but also that we maintain those healthy boundaries. Our foundational scripture is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23, and I know last week we read it out of the NIV, so we're going to hop in today and we're going to read it from the King James Version and then the New Living Translation. King James Version, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. And we talked about when God tells us this is our life that's at stake. This is our being that's at stake. This is why it's important to have those healthy boundaries in place and make sure that we're maintaining them. Now, the New Living Translation really speaks to me. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. This is the course of our lives. And we know what we do today affects our tomorrow, but then it also affects our next generation and a generation after that. So healthy boundaries, setting them and maintaining them goes even beyond us. But it's also us setting that example for those that are watching, those that are following us. So we're going to hop back in. Like I said, that's our foundational scripture. Last time we talked about emotional boundaries, physical boundaries. We're going to jump in today at saying no without guilt. Learning to say no without guilt is a significant aspect of establishing boundaries. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 37, he tells us, let our yea be yea and our no be no. Anything more than that comes from the evil one. So setting clear boundaries help us to maintain our integrity without compromising those values. A lot of times, I know for me, at one point in my life, it's real hard to say no, but I would set myself up for failure. I would do the act, but like the Bible says, my heart was far from God because I was tired, I was worn out. And instead of having a healthy boundary in place to say, you know what, I would love to be able to help you, but I will not be able to help you on that project, or to be able to say, I will not be able to do that particular thing, but this is what I can do to support you. Letting our yays be yay and our no be no, and standing on that. We don't want people to guilt us into lying and making up excuses and reasons and different things like that. No, we just gonna let our yays be yay and our no be no, and understand that this is a healthy boundary. This is so that I don't burn out. This is so that I don't make the wrong decision because I'm not thinking clear or straight. Saying yes or saying no and understanding that that's a complete sentence all of itself. Let's make sure that we stay in integrity and don't go beyond that. Let's talk about boundaries in relationship. Let's look at Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20. And this is the King James Version. It said, he that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. We don't want destruction in our lives. And so this is another place that even in our relationship that we have to set up healthy boundaries. There are certain people that I don't take marital advice from. I've seen the foolishness of their decision. And this is not being ugly. This is not being mean. This is something that never say to the person, but I know I have a certain group of people that I go to when I'm seeking marital advice. And that should be even in parental advice. Some people I don't ask for guidance. And that is okay. This don't mean we be rude and ugly to other people, but no, this is saying because I value my family, I value the peace, the structure of my home, I'm going to make sure that I'm seeking wise counsel. I'm going to walk with wise people when it comes to those things. That don't mean that that don't even mean you have to cut a person off completely. That just means you got to know a boundary in place. Now, do people give me counsel, advice on stuff? Yes, they do. Do that mean I take it? No. Healthy boundary in place. The New Living Translate says, walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with fools and get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble. I've been in enough trouble. I've associated with enough food. So it's about surrounding myself with people that can edify, build up, and that they are wise in one area or another, but I'm able to draw and pull and get strength and to get wisdom. And so that is okay to have those healthy boundaries set in place. It is okay to cut a person off. I understand, and I don't mean doing it in a rude, bad, or harsh manner, but it's okay to say, you're not good for my spirit. You're not good for my mental health. You're not good for my peace, because you come with negativity all the time. And then now that's infiltrating into me. And that's not the life that I want to live. So that is okay. That's another example of a healthy boundary and maintaining that. And now we're going to talk about spiritual boundaries. Let's look at James chapter 4, and we're going to do verses 7 through 8. And we're going to do the New Living Translation. I'm sorry, New Living Translation. So humble yourselves before God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Establishing spiritual boundaries involves staying connected to God and resisting negative spiritual influences. So once again, this goes back to me in some sense about the company that we keep, and making sure that we have healthy boundaries in place when it comes to people, when it comes to our spiritual health and spiritual well-being. We have to make sure that we are humbling ourselves before God, that we resist the devil. And like I said, this is not necessarily throwing a fit. This is not arguing with people. This is none of that. No, we just make sure that we have healthy boundaries set in place. The Bible acknowledges the impact of negative influences even on our mental and emotional well-being. Let's look at Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. King James: finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. That help keeps my mind regulated. Those applying these principles can help setting boundaries to protect our minds and to protect our heart, our foundation scripture, from harmful influences. I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes I can't watch the news because it can become overwhelming. I'm God, where are you? What is all this going on? But no, I set up healthy boundaries and I come back to the place of okay, I know when it's becoming overwhelming, and so then I have to cut the news off, or I have to cut this kind of music off, or I have to do this. That's setting healthy boundaries, and that is okay. Let's read Philippians 4 and 8 from the New Living Translation. And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing: fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about the things that are excellent and worthy of praise. This is even in our conversation. This boundary that I have in place, it helps me say, oh, okay, I'm gonna catch you next time, or I talk to you next time, because now we're just getting into gossiping, we're getting into backbiting, we're getting into all these different things that I just don't want a part of. So once again, it's okay to have those healthy boundaries set in place. So you'll know when to say, okay, now this is crossing over this boundary that I have. And the way that I'm gonna maintain it is I'm gonna appreciate them for where they are, but then we're gonna get ready to walk away. We're gonna end this conversation at this point here. So it's not, once again, it's not about putting up a wall. It's not about keeping people out. One of the things that I want us to be cautious of as Christians, even when we're dealing with non-Christians, we still have to be mindful how we handle them, even in setting up these healthy boundaries and maintaining them, because they're looking at our reaction. So we want to make sure that even in maintaining and establishing and maintaining these boundaries for us, make sure we're doing it in a loving and gentle manner, but holding the line. Building healthy boundaries is not only a practical way to navigate life, but it is also deeply rooted in biblical wisdom. We've gone over scriptures, we've read, we've seen how if we establish, maintain, this protects our heart, our bodies, our emotions, and our relationship. So I'm going to say, go back, reflect on the scripture, and let's apply them to our lives. And remember that setting boundaries is an expression of self-love and respect for God's design. This is us respecting who God created us to be. Once again, thank you for joining me today on Sparkle Looks. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more content. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on healthy boundaries, and if you have any specific topics, or if you have questions or want to go deeper into this, let me know. I just want the dialogue, want the conversation. Until next time, stay blessed. Keep building those healthy boundaries in your life. God bless you. I love you. So does God.